Hi, my name is Al Green. Not that one, but the struggling guy who was in the music industry for years trying to sell talent and songs to agents. The agents befriended me and taught me techniques that I want to pass on to you through my program, which is called You Can Talk, You Can Sell. Anyone who has ever taken this program has excelled in selling and either risen to the top of their company, their team, or the top of their field. It's called You Can Talk, You Can Sell, and you can get it right here. What's one of the biggest secrets in a successful salesperson? This lesson is going to cover a couple of ideas that are going to keep you constantly motivated and constantly returning to a pool of customers that can be your best asset. Number one, when you're journaling correctly and keeping track of everything you say, it's very simple to do. You take a blank book that you can write in, and you write down everything about the conversation with your customer. And you date it for every page, and you make sure you keep track of that book. Because when you return to look at that book, when you need sales, you're going to find that the customers who buy for you are most likely the same ones that are going to buy from you again. It just seems to work that way, that when you have a customer who is sold and they have their product and you do your job of keeping track with them and teaching them things they can do with the product or more facts about the product, and you give them some inside information, they're more likely to be a return customer and buy from you again, especially if there's an upsell or if there's a secondary product that they can buy or use. If you have a company that backs you with a 30-day money-back guarantee or a special price or special promotion, these are the people you can talk to. Now, if you use a book that has at least 30 pages, and you write down for every customer an entire page, you end up with a full book. You end up with a book such as this style here. And every page, this one has about 50 pages, but every page you have a customer and you get referrals and you write it down. And then you can refer back to them by date as well. That is so important because a lot of people who are struggling do not do this very simple technique. One of the biggest things that struggling salespeople run through in the sale is that they don't realize that what they're doing on the sale is what's making the difference. What they're doing on the sale, meaning in front of the customer. When you're in front of a customer, it's time to pay attention to the customer. And so many people are so worried about making the sale with that customer. They're not thinking about anything but their paycheck. And they lose track. They kind of get into this intimidation mode that's self-imposed. That's why it's good to practice. Practice with your friends, your family, and go through the most difficult questions that you can get them to come up with. Write out the questions and say, let's work through this. What would be the answers? If you were to be in front of me and I were talking to you, what would I do? If you threw me the curve saying, you know what, I don't have the money to buy that, or I'm not interested, I'm not that interested, or your competitor is offering me a better deal. That happens, and it's something we all live with. It's an answer for everything. And in the course, in the workshop, we cover all of these techniques. We run into every situation there is, And we help you develop your own sales style so that you're operating your own way and not the way that somebody tells you to. You operate the way you want to work, and that's how it works. You get to be your own boss in your own business, and you get to carefully consider how you want your day to go. Most sales positions for professional sales are like that. They might have quotas for you. They might have a number of customers that you have to visit every day, but still you can operate which order you want to go to, and you can actually navigate yourself through the day based on your own set of parameters. And they'll still fall in line with what the company wants, because your company really is more interested in your output, meaning your sales, than they are in how you think about your sales. Sometimes they want to do your thinking for you, and they're there for that reason. You need help, you go to your boss, you say, how can I help close this customer? How can I help get more people into my cachet of customers so I can return to them and get referrals or get more upsells? It happens all the time. A professional salesperson works at this continually. They are always available to be on the job, but they don't get in their head and think about their paycheck. They worry about each sale one at a time. One at a time is what does it, because it does add up to the numbers that you need to make. So the journaling is nothing more than keeping a daily track of every customer you talk to, whether they buy or not. Because in many cases, the customer that you talk to that spends time with you who doesn't buy is the same customer that buys from you later or gives you a good referral. Even if they go to your competition, which happens, it's perfectly okay. You're secure in yourself because you know what you're doing. You're confident because you know your product inside and out, so they cannot throw you any curves when it comes to your product or your service. You spent the time to learn your market and learn who's buying, who's not, and you've spent the time to know everything about your product so you can give some inside information that they wouldn't get otherwise. They won't get it from the company. It's a secret that you know. You know, for example, how to use a piece of technology in a different way, or how to store a product a certain way so that it's always safe and it's always usable. How to get support for technical problems with the product, or technical questions about an intangible, or when things are going to happen. A lot of times people want to know schedules. When is it going to be delivered? When is it an advertisement going to break? When am I going to get my documents, etc.? These are things that you have control of, that you can give answers to, and you can work on. A lot of times people come up with customers who have questions, and the questions have to go to the company, and they tell the customer, just call this 800 number and they'll answer the questions for you. That might be really good, but you know what? If it's a question that you can answer or get the answer for your customer, you're going to be in a much better place to be one-on-one with them and stand out. And that is something that not all of your competition is going to think of, unless you have somebody who thinks like that. When you have a customer, you have a gold mine that could yield 6 more people. So imagine if your quota is to sell 50 people a month, and you could turn that into each person is worth 6, and you close, let's say, just another 50, you're going to be looking like a superstar. And the idea is that you're always present, you're always looking to be on, and you're always looking to be the one that people look to, because a lot of times you could be the number one that carries the month above everybody else, and everybody else is down there in that 80% that are just trying to get by and are barely making their numbers. And believe me, when you get the awards or you get the recognition and you get the paycheck to go with it, there's nothing more you can say except for this program works. A lot of times, people in sales don't know these things. And it's not like they have to be led like a kindergartner. You need to go over here and do this. You need to color this in. You need to file this paperwork. No, it doesn't work that way. It's that they take the lead and they do it themselves and keep track. And you'll find that the best people that are the highest producers are the ones that do it themselves. They might have their own system. Some people like to use forms that they create. Other people like to write just on a blank piece of paper and just put it wherever it is that they can write any words on there and keep track. So when they get a return call from that customer for whatever the reason, they can look back and they can say, hey, you know what, that was only 2 weeks ago, but didn't you say you were going to be out of town for 10 days? Oh yeah, did you go out of town? Yeah, I did. Okay, and now you're telling the customer, so how was your trip? Okay, or how was this or how was that? A lot of times you'll hear words like, thanks for asking. Or, wow, I can't believe you remembered that. Those are the kind of things that you can think about to increase your monthly value, is to increase your monthly sales using techniques to make more important the customers that you deal with. Go ahead, start writing things down, see if it doesn't help you when you have to return back, and use those customers for referrals and use them for upsells. It'll work if you work it.